Now, back to McGraw. Presented by Londoff Chevrolet and Londoff.com on the Big 550 KTRS.
Hey, one of the good ones, Rudy Beck from Beck Elder Law, joins us to talk to us for a couple minutes about protecting our assets. Good morning, Rudy Beck.
Good morning, McGraw.
Let's start off with here. Good question. One which is actually a really good question. Why should you never have your child's name on your bank account?
I got 100 stories as to why that's not a good idea.
I'm thinking like a 4 or 5 year old, but I guess any age, right?
No, one of the greatest examples I can give is a guy came in from California to see his 70-some-year-old mother and said, "Mom, you know what? If something happens to you and you can't sign your names anymore on a check, just put my name on the account. It won't be a problem." He went back to California, and within a week, the bank where she had her savings account, the president of the bank, Daryl Rogner at the time, that shows you how long ago that was. Anyway, Daryl called me and said, "Is there anything you can do?" I said, "To do what?" "To keep us from having to send $27,000 out of her savings account to the Orange County, California Child Support Enforcement Division." He came out for the sole reason to deceive his mom.
Yeah.
Now, other reasons. What if he has a problem, and a lot of children don't admit that they've got debt problems, they've got a judgment against them, the minute their name goes onto an account, or if it's already on the account,
right?
If the creditor finds out, they can garnish that account. Because when your name's on an account, you have just as much power to withdraw as the original account holder.
So create the pain point and then get the person to sign off and put your name on the account. There's clearly a better way.
Absolutely, and that's with the durable power of attorney for financial matters. You can appoint the child that you wish. Be careful about that. And then they have the authority to go in and deal with your checking account or savings account at any time, or not until you have been declared incapacitated by one doctor or two doctors, and that's your choice.
Right, yeah. So, again, probably avoiding the very difficult conversation of saying, "No, I don't want you on my checking account," right? I mean, how many times does somebody say this just to avoid the confrontation?
Well, that's true, but this is a far safer way to do it. And you can make it springing, like I mentioned, and not even take effect until a doctor or two doctors have said, "Yeah, you don't have the capacity to deal with your own financial affairs anymore."
All right, here's another one. PODs and TODs for beneficiaries.
Pay on death and transfer on death. Those are good if you don't have time to do anything else.
Okay.
But that rarely comes up. But it's transfer on death. It's naming someone as a beneficiary on your account. You can even do a beneficiary deed on real estate. Problem is, what if that named beneficiary lacks capacity at the time of your death, or what if they predecease you? It doesn't provide for that. It could, but oftentimes if that person who predeceases has young children, all of a sudden now they inherit, and you've got to have a conservatorship appointed for them in probate court.
So that doesn't take the place of a trust?
Not even close.
Why?
Well, it doesn't cover the possibilities that can happen in life.
Right.
If somebody dies beforehand, if somebody is incapacitated, whereas with a trust, we cover all that, and at the same time, we avoid probate.
Yeah. Having done all this, thanks to Rudy Beck, I know the answers to some of these questions, and the answer is I don't know. I just ask Rudy, and Rudy does whatever it is I need to do. Right? I mean, we've set it up, not to get too personal here, but we've set it up so that, right, you set up, you help me take care of the last generation, and you help me take care of the next generation.
True.
Yeah. And that's kind of what you do.
McGraw, the whole idea is that we help people put the pieces of their financial life together, and really, in ways, their personal life together. But at the end of the day, it's all about providing peace of mind.
Yeah.
And we help a client take full ownership of what we're doing. Because that's the only way they can, if they fully understand it, then they can have peace of mind about it.
Yeah. I like the idea because, not that we had any problems, but, you might have a rogue sister or brother or aunt or uncle or somebody, and you're like, hey, whoa, hold on a second. Look, we're doing this with the lawyer, so, hold on a second. You can't come in here and roughshod us. We'd love to give you the power of attorney, but Mom already said it's going to Johnny.
Well, and the power of attorney for health care is a big deal as well, because you can designate who's going to be in charge of final funeral arrangements. And in second marriage situations, that can be a very big deal, because a child who might be the oldest child by the first marriage might assume that they have all the rights to come in and make a decision, whereas maybe there hasn't been much of an affiliation with mom or dad, and a child by the second marriage is the one that they've chosen to appoint. Well, if there's a good power of attorney for health care that is laid out who has the right to make those decisions, it completely avoids all the problems.
You have here that says you'll review a trust even if you guys weren't the ones who wrote the trust in the first place.
Yeah, we do. A lot of people bring in an existing document that is, 5 years old, sometimes just 6 months old.
Right.
And they'll say, is this okay? Is this right for us? Well, we'll review it. We won't charge to do that. We do not charge for that first meeting because we don't believe we should charge in order to find out if we can help.
Right.
It's that simple.
Simple as that. Why is it so hard for somebody to make the first phone call?
I don't really know.
I don't know.
I think a lot of people think, oh, my God, if I'm going to go see a lawyer about estate planning, that means I'm going to die.
Right.
And my response to that is, well, do you have insurance on your house? Yeah. You have insurance on your car? Yeah. Well, you might have an accident.
Right.
Your house might burn down or suffer wind or hail damage. But the one thing is absolutely certain. Sooner or later, we're all going to die.
Right.
So take care of the one thing that you're absolutely certain is going to occur. And when you pay us our fee, it may be just one time. That's all that's necessary. But you've just paid. Our fee is like a one-time premium for peace of mind insurance.
From the Country Club Car Wash text line, took your advice, McGraw. My wife and I sat down with Carolyn Stolzer last week at Beck's Elder Law. Could not have been more pleased with Carolyn. Thank you, Bob and Leslie. It's so much greater. It's such a great peace of mind, right? I know that, right? I mean, Emerson's taken care of. You did all that. I called you. You handled all the paperwork. I didn't have to deal with it. You told me what to sign. You told me what, I told you what I wanted, and we went from there. It couldn't have been any easier. It was relatively painless.
We try to make it that way.
I had to put up with you a couple times, but outside of that, it was all fine.
Well, look, I always tell people, and you're right, you had to put up with me a couple of times, but I tell people, our business, we're about very serious work.
Yeah.
But you don't have to be somber and serious as you go about it. You ought to be able to enjoy the process with your clients.
Yeah.
And the relationship side is the one thing I'm going to miss as I approach retirement.
50-plus years you've been doing this.
Yeah, I'm in number 52 right now.
BeckElderLaw.com, both sides of the river, north, south, east, and west. People come from all over, right?
Yeah, we've got, as I'm going to be leaving, we have 3 lawyers now.
Okay.
Who will be there to serve our clientele, and I couldn't be more proud. It's working really, really well. We've won 62, 43, and 31.
Yeah.
So,
well, you got the respect of the legal community, the respect of the St. Louis community. You've got my respect. You've done a whole lot of good, and I'm glad I accidentally bumped into you in the hallowed halls of KTRS.
Well, you know what? That's wasn't it something?
It was unbelievable.
I overheard you say something to Tom, and I said, hey, mind if I ask you a question? And I call that, I dubbed it the art of being constructively nosy, because if you hear something and you think you might have something that could make a difference to somebody, ask permission to ask a question. Yeah,
we were stuck, and we all put our head in the sand, and nobody wanted to deal with it. And this Rudy Beck is like, excuse me, can I ask you a question? What? Yes, go ahead, yes. BeckElderLaw.com. Pull your head out of the sand, call Rudy Beck, and start the process. It's not that bad. It's actually kind of pleasant, and peace of mind is worth all of it. BeckElderLaw.com. BeckElderLaw.com. Thank you, sir. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you, McGraw.
Big 550 KTRS.